This is a brief presentation on some of the themes, preoccupations, and concerns from Michael Almereyda's film adaptation of William Shakespeare's tragedy, Hamlet. The first theme that is clearly apparent within the film is that of revenge. Hamlet seeks to avenge the murder of his father, King Hamlet, by Claudius, the king's brother and Hamlet's uncle. Also, Laertes seeks revenge against Hamlet for killing his father, Polonius, the Lord Chamberlain, as well as the apparent suicide of Ophelia thereafter. Deception makes up a major motif in Hamlet. On the one hand, Claudius conceals his murder of Hamlet's father. On the other hand, Hamlet conceals his knowledge of the murder. He also wonders whether the ghost is deceiving him, pretending to be old King Hamlet when he is really a devil. Hamlet himself feigns madness throughout the film. His friends Rosencrantz and Guildenstern pretend to have Hamlet's best interest at heart while attempting to carry out Claudius' scheme to kill Hamlet. After that scheme fails, Claudius connives to kill Hamlet during the fencing match. However, that scheme also goes awry when Gertrude drinks from a poisoned cup prepared for Hamlet. At the heart of some of this deception is this idea of ambition. Claudius so covets the throne that he murders his own brother, King Hamlet, to win it. In this respect, he is like Macbeth and Richard III in other Shakespeare plays, who also murder their way to the crown. Whether Claudius's ambition to be king was stronger than his desire to marry Gertrude is arguable, as we see that he is particularly in love with her and is genuinely upset when she drinks the poison wine at the end. Nonetheless, this idea of ambition is clearly evident. Loyalty, or the lack thereof, is a theme that really drives much of the action, and it's clearly a preoccupation of Almereyda in this film. Hamlet is loyal to his father's memory, as is Laertes to the memory of his father, Polonius, and his sister Ophelia. Gertrude, interestingly, is torn between loyalty to Claudius and Hamlet. This is particularly heightened in the sword-fighting scene where we see her internal struggle. Horatio remains loyal to Hamlet to the end, while Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, school pals of Hamlet, betray Hamlet and spy on him, plotting to kill him under the direction of Claudius. Madness, pretended or real, is a continual preoccupation that Almereyda looks at in this film. In his attempt to prove Claudius's guilt, Hamlet puts on an antic disposition that is, he pretends madness. The question remains, however, whether he really is mentally unbalanced. Almereyda's continual use of the camera footage with Hamlet reflects in part a disconnectedness with reality and fragmentation of his thoughts. On a further note, the famous to be or not to be soliloquy played out by Hamlet has often been deciphered as an internal discussion on his part about whether or not he should kill himself, knowing the horrible end met by his father. Ophelia plays on the frailty of the female sex in this film, coming to pieces twice over Hamlet's abandonment and Polonius's murder. This mental shift cannot even be rectified by the return of her brother Laertes. By this stage, she has already fallen apart, behaving erratically, finally succumbing in an apparent suicide, drowning in the fountain. Gertrude's madness apparently stems from her infatuation with her new husband Claudius. Her unbridled desire not only disgusts Hamlet, who cannot understand her sudden shift in affection so soon after his father's death, but also her inability to see the truth. Her madness appears as an emotional one, with rapidly swinging shifts in emotion, particularly with regards to her division of loyalty between her son Hamlet and her new husband. This is highlighted in her bedroom scene where Hamlet murders Polonius, as well as her decision to drink the poison in order to save her son's life, which, unlike the play version of this, is done deliberately in this film. Almereyda's film as an adaptation also presents a striking detachment from reality with the way characters are portrayed and the interactions they have with one another. In a visibly deliberate departure from the ever-present dialogue-driven action of live theatre, much of Hamlet's soliloquies are presented as a voiceover. More so, as the film progresses, we see Hamlet working with his video recorder, replaying scenes of himself discussing his thoughts. These snippets of a film within a film really detach the action and subsequently the character and their language from the audience. Hamlet's movie The Mousetrap, originally presented as a play within a play by Shakespeare, with live actors telling the story that Hamlet has devised to catch Claudius out. This is presented by Almereyda as a short film comprising a montage of images and scenes. Here, Hamlet has detached himself and the action from the reality of the situation, that Claudius has killed his father. The fact that this is a film within a film further emphasizes that detachment. The character of Ophelia is portrayed as a photographer. This, as with Hamlet's character, immediately positions her view of the world as one that is detached from reality. She sees the world through her camera lens. This is emphasized in her final scene where she is handing out photographs of flowers rather than the real thing before drowning in the fountain. The fencing scene at the end is a clear construct of the actual fight scene played out at the end of the original play. This mock fight is a step away from the reality of battle scenes, which in the film are played out with guns instead. The film's conclusion reaffirms the detachment from reality, with the story closing not with the words of a central character, someone the audience has an invested interest in, but with a news reporter who ends the tale in a very matter-of-fact way. It is then revealed that he is simply reading from a teleprompter, again signifying a detachment from the reality of the action in the text. The themes of the film relate directly to the techniques employed by the director to generate meaning. These go hand in hand. It is important to have a strong handle on both when developing a critique of the film as a text.